Good question, Derek. Yeah, so our films are now going to be a little more planned. Okay, so here's today's assignment, and it kind of has everything that you need in one spot as usual. Um, and towards the end of class today, I'll talk about catch-up work. And in class today, you should be able to do some of your storyboarding work. So first, this week, we have 3 classes. So today you will come up with a story idea. Wednesday you will film it. You can also film tomorrow, but Wednesday we'll talk about filming it. And Thursday, editing it. And this will be your last project before we make portfolios. So let's check out some PSAs. So what's a public service announcement? Well, you don't see many of them as you used to, but Smokey the Bear has kind of made a lot of them. When I grew up in the 80s, there was a lot of this is your brain on drugs PSAs telling us not to do drugs. Wow, that is a lot of links. Oh, there's even more. Okay, not as much information here as I thought, but gives you some basic background. Let's see some examples of PSAs. So we'll go to the forest. Okay.
Dad?
I want you to count how many seconds each time the camera shot changes. I'll put that in the chat. About how many seconds for each camera shot?
1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
So it's a little smoky if we go out there right now to the forest, but you notice that each camera shot is just a couple seconds, so it keeps you visually hooked. It keeps the story moving. All right, let's look at one more example. It's a very similar public service announcement, but different characters and a little bit different style. So 30 seconds, you could even do a 15-second one. 15 to 30 seconds is going to be your target for what you're filming. So you'll make something like this, which is a message to the public about something that's good for people to do, that helps us out or helps the world out. So what's the problem here? Exactly. They're all on their phones and they're not really getting good family time because they're all distracted. So let's see what they do.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
So you could do your PSA about getting in nature. It could be about health, healthy habits, self-care, all kinds of things. So what are we making today? Where is mine? I thought I put mine on here somewhere. No, okay, I gotta go to a different window. I might have to like re-add that. Oh, here it is. Here's mine. Okay, so I'm gonna do mine about paper. I'm actually gonna do this assignment too. And here's what I did is I wrote down a list of the shots I wanted about saving paper, and here's the storyboards I created. And my way of doing storyboards, which is like making a cartoon that kind of is how I'm going to shoot the story. I do it really quick. I'm not too careful. I just want to know what kind of shots I want to do. So here I made a list of events, and then I put them in the order I was going to like have them in the video. So I'll explain to you what's going on. Okay, so there's this guy, and I'm like asking this person in the A's hat, where do you get your scratch paper? And then we go to a store, and then there's a camera pan from one like side of the aisle to where the paper is. And then the paper, $10.99. I mean, that's a lot of money to pay to get some paper, right? And so my next camera shot is going to be recycling bin. I go in the recycling bin, or someone does, and there's like all these paper with blank sides on them that could be used for projects, taking notes or whatever. And then in my 7th frame, it's like showing you how you do that. So you get stuff in the mail, you open your mail up, and you flip over the paper, you find it has a blank side. And then to use it, let's say you're on the phone, you need to take some notes about something. Oh, well, I got my scratch paper right here. Let me jot that down. You can also use it as printer paper. So you put the blank side up in your printer, and then out shoots a printout. And finally, I could use it actually, like I did, to do this storyboard assignment. And then you just got to put it in a stack of, you just have to have a place to save your, like I have a tray, and in my tray sits like hundreds of sheets of scratch paper that I've collected. So like as an example, a real example, here is some of my homeowner documents. And then on the other side of that is my assignment. Oh, that's wrong. Where am I? Oh, it's in another room. But anyways, you can see I use scratch paper. So here's the back side, and then the front side is work I did. So right, how do you make a storyboard? That's the next step. But first, I think what you got to do is figure out your story idea. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to come up with some PSA story ideas. You can write them down for yourself or drop them in the chat. So here I go in the chat, 3 minutes, PSA story ideas. Visit nature. All right, cool. So you're going to have to figure out one of those to do that you believe in, something you would enjoy making a video about. The paper one I'm really passionate about because I save so much paper, so you're going to see that. So if like, you know, if there's something that annoys you in the world and you wish people would do better, this is your chance to make that movie. So what you're showing in your storyboards, let me go back to screen sharing. Is you got to do camera shots. So everything you show in your storyboard should have a camera shot. So here's a web page with all kinds of camera shots. Now, usually at the beginning of your story, you'll have like a wide shot that kind of shows where everything's happening. Mine happens to be the second shot. It's inside a office supply store. Close-ups are really good. There's a lot of variety of shots you can do. So this is a good reference. And you remember there was this video we watched. I'm not going to show it again, but this one had a lot of camera shots you can look at. So it's still there. Okay, so storyboarding resources. I got a page on the site that has all these. I had a really good teacher at college, Lee Mars, and there's a lot of good examples of how you draw your storyboard. So every page has to have 6 frames. Dialogue goes in quotes, and sound effects you can also put in there. I did a little bit of that in mine. And you can see you can use real like cartoony kinds of drawing. It doesn't have to be like super accurate drawing. How do I get out of that? Escape. Evil. Okay. And then here's some techniques for drawing certain kinds of things in different frames. So when you have arrows inside your comic strip, that shows things moving that the camera sees. Like this creature rotating and falling over. This ghost figure here is moving towards the camera, and you can see like rotations indicated by arrows. Now when the arrow starts outside the frame, that means the camera's doing the moving or the zooming. So here, this is a camera comes into the Fila logo while it's moving to the side. This would indicate that you're driving along the road. Okay, to do pans, like if you're panning from the tree to people loading their stuff on a wagon, use an arrow across the frames. You can also do tilts across the frames. You can do pans that way as well while having stuff move on the inside. Okay, so zooms, like down here, if you're gonna zoom in on the tree, you put a box around the camera angle of the zoom, and then you put arrows into it. So that's there for you in the storyboarding resources, so you have access to it. And then here is something I did like as one of my class projects. So it's about a letter that flies into the building onto someone's desk, and then they open it. Short example. Okay, so let's go back. So how do you do this all? Well, I want you to know, if you're not into the drawing, there's also a tool called Storyboard That. You can also use this for assignment. So it's your choice whether you want to draw it on paper or use a tool. So for Storyboard That, I think it's going to require me to log in, or maybe not. So you can just, okay, cool. How do I get hide that. All right. Yeah, so you can start with a wide shot and do all kinds of stuff. And then you can add a character in there, right? Let's try that. And wow, you can various kinds of skin colors and eye colors, all kinds of stuff. So this is another way you could make your storyboard using this tool. No problem. All right. So let's go over the steps. So we kind of did, all right, what you're making. You have to come up with a PSA story and then make a cartoon that shows how you shoot it. There's a few examples here, and I got the resources for you. So the steps for this assignment. So first you got to figure out what message you're gonna promote in your 15 to 30 second PSA. Then make a list of actions. And then make those comic strips that are like 6 boxes a page. So when you're done drawing them, you can photograph or scan them. Or if you did storyboard that, just like download them from the site. And then put a page on your Google site that has them. And that Google page looks like that. And I just inserted the images and I kind of described what was going on in each one. Here's a little bit more about making PSAs, and those are the 2 videos. And I should probably add something there. Okay, so this is a work period now. I'll probably just leave up an image of one of mine. So I can actually probably do a new tab here. And let's do File Open and open one of my images. So at like in 30 minutes at 12:50, I'm gonna talk about catching up on work and grading and all that stuff. But for now, you wanna use the next 30 minutes to come up with a PSA idea, like what message you're promoting, and then basically imagine what the story is gonna be and then draw a cartoon version of the camera shots. So yeah, it's work time now. 30 minutes. So you want PSA story message, then a list of story events and shots for the camera, then probably 2 to 3 pages of comic strips showing the camera shots in order.